So for your final project, you have an option of drawing page 116 as a bonus drawing. The required is page 117, 118. And you have an option of going with 2 times A3 size sheets or 1 A2. The benefit of 1 A2 is that you're doing one title block, you have one project. The benefit of 2 A3s is that you can, once you lay out the main floor plan, you can put sheet on the top and copy everything that's lining up. So in part 1 of the discussion about the project, we're going to look at page 117 main floor plan and upper floor plan so you understand what you're drawing. And we're going to spend time today just laying out the sheet correctly and finishing just walls. It's a complex drawing. It's going to look great in your portfolio, but there's lots of information and you're still at the preliminary stages. So we want to make sure we break it down so it's not so overwhelming. So let's draw all the dark walls. So what are the dark walls on a drawing? Have a look at your handout, page 116. What is printed darkest line? The walls. The floor plan is down on about eye level, and we're slicing through the whole house on eye level. I gave you the site plan, so that site plan drawing, if you go to previous page 116, the walls are actually shaded black. These drawings are not actually construction drawings. These drawings are what we refer to in architecture's development, project development stage. I actually created these drawings after the house was built just so it can go to your manual. So they're done in CAD, and I will supplement our module for final project with images of the house and the way it was built. And I will look for the actual construction drawings and try to copy them and scan them and insert them as well. So we start with preliminary sketches in architecture and in engineering. You start the sketch, that's why we did the freehand sketches. Then we have project development stage. Now your client has decided on the height of the house, the layout of the rooms, and you have drafted it to scale, and you're making presentation to get the final approval. But I have added dimension to what otherwise would be project development because you need to draw it. So we also have dimensions that actually belong on construction drawings. The project development is for the client, and client would need to know how you design the house to function. So that's why we show furniture. I will bring templates and I will help you up with the furniture, and I will point you to pages. You have the following up pages to this project. You have actually scanned templates, so you can either trace or you can use my templates. I will be bringing them to class. But let's start with just laying out these either 2 or 1 sheets, because although the house overall dimension is only 20 feet by 25 and a half, so we got about 20 by 25 feet house, very small house. You can't place the house in the middle of your sheet, which is something that intuitively you would want to do. Because if you look at the page 117, we also have front porch, we have some steps, we have dimensions, and we have the side deck and patio to show. So how would we actually attack laying out the sheet? And I would suggest that you look at overall dimensions of the house and add what we have beyond those outside walls. So let's look at the horizontal dimension. We've got 20 feet, correct? And then I have 4.5 and 2.5. So 4.5 and 2.5 is 7. So about 27 in this direction. So you may want to make a note somewhere for yourself that we have about 27 in this direction, and the other direction, don't look at the small dimensions up top or on sides. Look at the overall house and then what is on the outside of the house. That's how I would do it. So if my house is 25.5, let's call it 26. 26, and then the deck is 12. So what's that? 26, 36, about 38. So my overall plan is about 27 by 30. Did we say 38 or 30? 38? Okay, so this is how you need to start. It's the box of about 27 by 38 that needs to be laid out first with light construction lines. And then you can start, or whatever corner you want. I would start at the bottom corner because I think you should be drawing the house first. People started on Monday from decks. Not a good way to be. But before we even get there, if you're going to go with A2, obviously you're going to tape your sheet square on the board, landscape. If you're going to go A3 and you want to have least amount of confusion, then take the page out, tape it on the side of your drafting board, and basically copy everything. I'm not saying you have to go there. You could do A3 landscape. You could do A3 landscape, and I have a couple people in Monday class that are doing it because it's easier to work in the landscape layout. It's easier to reach. But then you are turning my layout in your manual sideways. And if you turn it sideways, dimensions are wrong. When we talk about dimensions, as long as you fix and orient the dimensions correctly and differently, then you're fine. If you don't know what I'm talking about right now, if you're confused, please copy. Go the same way. Because dimensions have to be over and above and over to the left. As soon as you take my correct layout and you rotate sheet whichever way you want, you may have dimensions upside down. And believe me, every year I get projects that are submitted with drawing number here and dimensions upside down. Not good. So this is your layout, and you have a freedom to do your layout. You only are asked to stick with 1/4-inch standard residential scale. But the warning is, if you start doing this, my layout is upside down now. My dimensions and notes are upside down, and you have to fix it on your layout. So your layout has to be, drawing number is here, and dimensions will be over and above dimension line and over and above dimension line to the left. All right. Once you have the layout, where do we actually start? So I would then start breaking in my box with placing light construction lines for the house itself. The deck, the curves, everything, it needs to be outlined light. And now you're starting to be confused because you're kind of losing track of what's what. So what we're going to do then is start offsetting walls by 8 inches. Nice lines, and that's a similar project to what we did in perimeter. Okay? And then placing the window openings, for which you have all dimensions. Once you have all of these construction lines, then you may switch. You can do all this with 2H pencil. At this point, you can now switch to H and really beef up those walls dark. Your drawing will be very busy, and if you don't make the walls dark, you're going to miss out on this freehand drafted punch of your drawing. So early in the process, you have to kind of decide on your darkest line. So your title block, I would leave it till maybe not last, but don't spend the whole day today doing title block. Because title block, it's easy. You can do it on your own anytime. Start laying out things. If you need any clarifications with regards to dimensions, we are in class, we can do it, okay? Title block, do it another time. Just don't do it the day it's due because, again, you want to do a nice job. Okay, so going back to laying out and just what we're going to do today. We have to know what we're drawing. So let's go back to site plan again, just so we understand what we're doing. And I will look for the photographs and add the drawings and photographs so you can picture it 3D. So again, we're drawing 3-dimensional real house in plans. Feel free to design elevations, but I know you will be strapped for time and you won't be doing it. So site plan is that optional drawing that you could add. What we have is a real project that happened. I was able to sever a small lot from another house that I built. Renovated. I built this house brand new in place of falling apart garage that was demolished. So that's why the size of the house is 20 feet by 25 and a half. So if you look on the right-hand side of sheet 116, that is where the main public street is. Then we have a driveway hatched. Driveway takes us through 4 risers up to a porch. The porch is covered with the roof. That's the hidden line that you see. You step into the house. The house is very small and very open. There's only wall to support this, to help support stairs, and a closet, and a ductwork that takes the ductwork for heating and air conditioning upstairs. Okay, those are the only walls. You have kitchen directly to the left, and the counter was built from tiles. That's why you see the square hatching, 12 by 12. There is little thing on the right-hand side of the door that will not be dimensioned. It was just like an IKEA coat hanger. If I don't give you dimensions for those items, just draw them up. Okay? The roof line is shown with the hidden line, so you can see that the porch is covered. There's actually balcony on the upper level under the roof. The black circles are steel posts that were holding up the veranda and the roof overhang. We have a curvy line on that main floor. That's actually, believe it or not, a hole in the floor that goes to the basement. I actually had my drafting board, A0 size drafting board, right under that opening, and I had window going all the way to the ground so I could see not only daylight but look up at the big tree that you see right in front of that window. So it was a really, really lovely area to work. The stairs. The stairs overlap, and we talked about cut line last week for cutting the footings. If we don't have room to show footings, we did introduce cut line. Well, stairs on the main floor, you are actually showing stairs. Where should I put this? Okay, you're actually showing stairs on eye level. So imagine one stair going up and one stair going down. At eye level, we're showing void on the drawing. Void, nothingness. Because at eye level, you will see the stairs going up, and then you cut them. You see the stairs going down, and then they're covered by stairs going up. Okay? So that's difficult to picture. So what you have to do, you have to understand how we show it. So you have stairs going up and down in this location, and we will have cut line that you should draw light first. And it is a line with a free-handed squiggly line like this. And then you would show on this side, there is actually stair going, it starts here. So this is tread 1, tread 2 on 45, tread 3, and then standard steps going up. And they have a railing. The stairs going down are actually, I simplified the drawing for you, but the stairs going down would actually have a much thicker wall here because you're looking now at the thicker foundation wall. So the stairs to the basement actually were narrower. But the bottom line is that the stairs going down starts here, and we would actually say DN and UP, and we would show with an arrow how the stairs go, and you would draw them from start to the cut line, from start to the cut line. On the upper level that we will go to in a minute, you will show only one staircase going down because that's all you see. So if in doubt, imagine what you would see when cutting on eye level. So on this site, from the living room, there are sliding doors next to the stairs that take you out to 12 by 12 deck. The deck was carved out and built around a big tree. So that's the big circle with the solid black truck in section. From that deck, you can take 3 steps down to the paved patio, which was matching. It was poured stamped concrete. And you can take steps behind. And interestingly enough, ladies and gentlemen, this project was built on a very small lot. If you were to dig out the dimensions, the overall lot size is 60 feet frontage, which is a big frontage, but the depth is only 35. If you were to look for the property line is actually the back wall. So it's smaller than required lot, smaller than required size of the house by zoning bylaws. The house is sitting without setback on property line, okay? And the construction is totally wacko and different. So how does that happen in real life? Well, it happens just because we have zoning bylaws doesn't mean that you can't change them and apply for variance. So I got all of those variances because I've renovated about 30 houses in all Grimsby Beaches area. So I worked on with neighbors and the word spread, and I built a very good reputation with town and neighborhood. So people who were living in the neighborhood helped me get this proposal. I basically built one house and I was so in debt I had to sell it. I left myself with the lot. So first thing is town let me divide the lot, and then I got permit to build this house that did not comply with zoning bylaws. So if you have a dream, you can get there. So that was a reasonable dream because there was a falling apart garage with rats, etc., and all the neighbors would rather see a nice house than falling apart dilapidated garage. So that's how it happened. So if you're looking at the first investment, if you look at slightly unorthodox neighborhoods like Beaches area throughout the whole Niagara region, and even all the way, the same thing happened in Toronto, then you can get away with these things if you do it right. So it was an interesting project, and unfortunately I sold it. I'd like to buy it back, but the couple that bought it are not selling it. It is on Park Road in Grimsby, if you're ever close to the Grimsby Beach historical area. So it was a small house that kind of duplicated, reinterpreted the traditional beaches historical style. And if you were to visit it right now, I forgot the gentleman's name, but there is a guy that lives in the neighborhood who paints all the cottages. Crazy colors. We're talking fuchsias, lime greens, pinks, all kinds of gingerbread, decorative motifs, and it's really, really, really different. So if you're ever in that area at the foot of Park Road in Grimsby, there's actually public park that very few people know about. It used to be a destination for Toronto wealthy people. They had cottages there. And it started off as a Methodist camp for religious gatherings. It's a very interesting area to visit. But the reason why I'm mentioning this is because when I post the pictures, you'll see that the actual pipes were painted fluorescent green, the doors are fluorescent pink, so why these crazy colors? It's because I have reinterpreted architecturally those gingerbread old cottages into modern vocabulary. And it was a very successful project, and it's probably the best piece of architecture I will die with, unless I build my last house one more time. Okay, so let's start by laying out the sheet and placing walls. And if we get this done today, we're doing really, really good. If you want to get ahead, then there is a full recording under the last year's project where I go about stairs and dimensioning, proper dimensions. Don't do arrows. If you want to get this project done like this week and do it real quick before you head into your finals, then that's fine. But if you're jumping ahead, then I suggest you listen to the last year's recording, which covers the whole project. I'm going to split it into two parts because dimensions, the most important thing is dimensions. Don't do the arrows, because as much as we tried to make the arrows perfect, I'm pretty sure that you're still struggling with them. So on this final project, do these little ticks. So I will talk a little bit about that in part 2. Okay? So let's get started on laying out the sheet and placing the walls from main floor and then hopefully the upper floor. Upper floor, you can either use the projection that we did with from last week, projection method where you will have some dimensions but not all. The 2 sheets I think are easier because you're simply placing it on the top. If you look at the back side of page 117, you have the upper floor. Don't do the curve yet because I will bring and talk about using flex curve in class. Don't do toilets and sinks because I will again bring my template that you can use. That doesn't take long time at all and it will look really nice on your drawing. Just so you understand, on upper floor that curvy wall will be drafted lighter. So that's why I leave it out today. Because it wasn't a full wall, it is a half wall that overlooks down to the main floor. There's only one place for the bed to fit in that small bedroom upstairs. So if we don't do the curve correctly, if you start curving too soon, there won't be a good spot to put the bed. Upstairs you could have a little bit of flexibility how to place furniture, but you're very limited because it's so small. But you could potentially change the bathroom. You could put the doors to the bathroom. It is designed so the bathroom could be more private, but it was just for me, so I kept it kind of open. There is no bathroom on the main floor. There was a full bathroom in the basement and upstairs. So the guests have to go up, and there is a door immediately, sliding door, to the two-piece toilet room. So if I had company, they had to go upstairs or downstairs. Downstairs was a combination of bathroom and laundry room. And downstairs, on the upper floor, you see the little triangle in the closet? That's an interesting thing. We will add a circle in there. What I actually did is I framed a wall, and this was a hole. On the upper floor, it was a literally hole in the floor with a round plastic pipe. And into that, you would throw your t-shirt, socks, underwear, and they traveled, if you look at the main floor, they traveled through the kitchen behind the wall now, and they landed on the counter in the laundry basket in the basement. So that was a pretty nice feature. Although you could also upstairs, just so you understand upstairs, you could also stand over your bed and throw your laundry right through all these openings all the way downstairs, which is what my friends sometimes did. So it's open and it's slightly different, so you sacrifice this space. When we get to third semester, it's often done on houses that you sacrifice the floor space by making openings to below or above to make the whole space feel bigger. So the bedroom upstairs is smaller floor, however, because it is open without the floor, beyond the half wall, it feels much bigger. And with cathedral ceilings and skylights, that small floor footprint, where you just sleep literally, feels much bigger and spacious. And the same way, main floor, if it wasn't open to above, it would feel very small with just 8-foot ceiling. But because it's open to cathedral ceilings, skylights, etc., it feels much more open. So the house was very small, but quite airy and open. And I will add pictures as soon as I can. Okay, so let's get started with these, and we will add as we go along.